Coach, what kind of growth did you see from your basketball team as a coach?
I mean, I think that it was an overload, and I think because of that, I think we matured. I think we matured and came together. I thought we played. I think we played well defensively. You know, all of our games in Michigan. And as the week went on, our offense started catching up to where we really got to be a pretty good offensive team, where our shot selection was better. I think we kind of hit on some combinations that was good. But those are two good wins at the end of the week. You know, we were in both of those games, got to the last media timeout, up by 2, up by 4. And we were able to finish them and make some foul shots. And I think our shot selection at that point was really good. So when you're going through it, you don't feel great about it. Obviously, with back-to-back-to-back games and playing it, walking out of the gym at 6:30 and knowing you're playing the next game at 12 o'clock the next day, and you're sitting there saying, why are we doing this? But at the end of the day, I think we learned a lot about our group.
Did the players like the back-to-back-to-back more than you did?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they do. I mean, I don't like it. I mean, it's really like the new vogue, Joe, in terms of what's going on in college basketball right now. I mean, everybody from across the country that has an exempt, and they're everywhere. I mean, I don't know how they. Obviously, you have to have a lot of money to kind of get them. To pay people to get there, but that back-to-back, playing night 1 and you get out of there at 9:30 and then you're playing at 4 and then game 2, and I'll give our kids a lot of credit. We painted or taped some tape on in a ballroom and walked through what people were doing, and maybe we ought to do that more, to be honest with you, because they retained some things that we wanted to do, and we tweaked some offenses there just in that little time together. And our kids deserve a lot of credit for how well they played as the week went on.
What did you notice about your bench players? Any growth there that you saw?
We got to keep growing. You know what I mean? I thought we kind of played 2 bigs with Bobby and Fletch a little bit. Our freshman guys, I think, played well in spots, but clearly not what we want them to be. So we need to continually work with those guys, but every single game, Central was media timeout. You're down by 4. Eastern Michigan, we really played well against Eastern Michigan. They're a very talented team. Last media timeout, we were down by 5 and had the ball. And then obviously the last 2 games, that we played, we were right there too. So we were in the war every game, and those guys, tough to learn like that, and they'll get better.
Did you get a chance to meet with your 2 new early signees from Michigan?
Yeah, actually we did. We had a nice time with them. Met their family, not met them obviously, but saw their families, and they were at the game, and it was nice after the wins because I'm really nice. You all know the other part of it, so yeah, it was nice to see him.
You talk about Marcus. He seems like you mentioned last year he plays really well on the road.
Yeah, he played. I mean, he was the best player in the gym yesterday. I mean, he was really good. And not only was he good in terms of his point production and that, but just, I mean, we have so many new guys, and we're running plays, and he's telling the guys, where to go, the guys that are off, off ball kind of stuff, this is, stay, those kind of things. Very communicative. He really, really played well. And his folks were, his family were there from Texas, so it was kind of a nice deal.
What are some things you need to work on for tomorrow?
UMKC is really talented. This is a different team. I mean, they won at Missouri. They should have beaten Kansas Kansas State. I mean, I just came in from watching that game, and they led for 38 minutes in that game. They press you full court, try to really mess with your tempo of your game. Very, very, very aggressive with the ball in terms of driving it and getting you in foul trouble. This is a stiff test for us because you don't see this kind of style very often, and they're very, very, very aggressive at the offensive and defensive end of the floor.
So far, who's the best team you think you've played?
I tell you what, Dana, I was thinking about that riding home yesterday. We've really played a tough schedule and really played some good teams. I mean, I think Kent's undefeated, and Central's undefeated, Eastern Michigan's undefeated. All experienced, older teams, and me with moral victories. I don't. That's not a part of my DNA. But I will say that I thought we had a chance to win every one of those games. I thought our guys were in there against veteran teams. I think they showed their mettle a little bit against those kind of teams.
Do you think your team learned a lot playing these types of teams?
Yeah. I mean, again, we played relatively well, and I used the term, relatively, because of our offense. Our goal is to shoot 45% from the floor and 37 to 39 from the three, and our foul shooting, guys that are good foul shooters have been missing them. Obviously, it's early in the year, but again, in those two wins, we were at 75 and 77%, I believe, in the last two games. So those are the little things that you do. It's the same thing with Central. We were right there at Central Michigan with an opportunity to tie the ball game. We had three straight possessions that we missed a front end of 1-and-1, a front end of 1-and-1, and then we missed two on a two-shot foul. That's 3 turnovers. How I tell our guys is, if you don't knock those things down, that's a turnover, and that would have put us at a tie ball game because we got 3 stops in a row.
Just briefly, can you talk about your 3 early recruits and what they mean, for the future of this program?
Yeah, Jordan is as probably a good as a 3-point shooter. And if you go on the YouTube stuff to see him, I mean, he at 6'5". The thing that makes him special at 6'5" is that he has really good lift. He can get over pressure, and I'm very excited about his ability to score the basketball. Latin won a state title, as a junior, leading his team all the way to the championship game, and broke a state championship game with, I think, 7 threes. So, and then, Devin is the kind of 4s that we've had in the past, that we are with a little bit with Shawnee, but he's more of a pick and a pop guy that can shoot the ball. He's got good size at 6, he's like almost 6'8". I think his dad's a tall guy. I think he's going to even get taller. Those are 3 really solid recruits for us in the early period. That's a good question, John. I appreciate it.
Anything else for Coach?
I what's that? Yeah, I just want to apologize for that. I wanted to speak to that. I apologize for not having any of the guys here today. We have a rule not in the gym today or not in this building. I mean, we've been on the road literally, all week. They've missed a full week of classes. And it started, obviously, with playing a Sunday night game last week. And, they were told not to be in the weight room and not to be in this building today. So I apologize for not having anybody with you.